No, that's not some alien planet. That's the globe Earth. No matter which side of the globe versus flat Earth debate you're on, like there's really a debate, why does this bother you so much? You say, well, Craig, it's upside down. Is it really? There's an upside down in space? Maybe the people who live here think it's you that live down under. Yeah, this is Craig here again, ready to destroy another flat Earth meme, one of the most popular flat Earth memes, that all photos from space of the Earth are CGI.
NASA claims there are upwards of 20,000 satellites floating around Earth's upper atmosphere, sending us radio, television, GPS, and taking pictures of the planet. All these supposed satellite pictures, however, are admittedly composite images edited in Photoshop. They claim to receive ribbons of imagery from satellites, which must then be spliced together to create composite images of the Earth, all of which are clearly CGI and not photographs.
Clearly CGI and not photographs. Okay, let's take that one first. All right, what is a photograph and what is an image, a computer-generated image? Remember these? This is film, photography. Remember, for over 100 years, that's what we used as a photograph. Nowadays, we have these things called digital cameras, which are digital. Digital photography is a form of photography that uses cameras containing arrays of electronic photodetectors to capture images focused by a lens, as opposed to an exposure on photographic film. The captured images are digitized and stored as a computer file, ready for further digital processing, viewing, digital publishing, or printing. Now on satellites, we have a lot of different types of electronic photodetectors. Various digital cameras can also detect some ultraviolet light and all of the visible and much of the near-infrared spectrum, as most digital imaging sensors are sensitive from about 350 nanometer to about 1000 nanometer. An off-the-shelf digital camera contains an infrared hot mirror filter that blocks most of the infrared and a bit of the ultraviolet that would otherwise be detected by the sensor, narrowing the accepted range from about 400 to 700 nanometers. So yes, all images today for the last 50 years or so from digital cameras have been computer-generated images. It's a file stored on a storage medium, a bunch of data that the computer has to interpret and adjust for color for something that would approximate what the human eye would see, so that you can enjoy something that you call a picture. But for all those flat earthers that are saying that all photographs are fake, well, you have to determine what's a photograph and what's an image. And yes, all images are computer-generated images, period. But for Eric Dubay to suggest that everything is fake is an absolute lie. And we can go over some of those here in a little bit.
If you pick any cloud in the sky and watch for several minutes, two things will happen. The clouds will move and they will morph, gradually changing shape. In official NASA footage of the spinning ball Earth, such as the Galileo time-lapse video, however, clouds are constantly shown for 24 plus hours at a time and not moving or morphing whatsoever. This is completely impossible, further proof that NASA produces fake CGI videos, and further evidence that Earth is not a spinning ball.
Well, as explained to you before with the images, all video today is also CGI, no exceptions. So all your videos are fake videos? Here's an image. You don't like NASA so much? Here's a series of images. 10-minute shots. Every 10 minutes, the Himawari 8 satellite from Japan takes an image, and it's put here into a time-lapse, and you can see moving clouds. All videos are a series of images, and all are CGI.
When NASA's images of the ball Earth are compared with one another, the coloration of the land and oceans and relative size of the continents are consistently so drastically different from one another as to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that the pictures are all fake.
Okay, let's examine these color differences. Here's a photograph I took on top of Stone Mountain near Atlanta with a digital camera of my own. Then, just seconds later, another digital camera, I took this picture of the same basic scene. Now, if we put these two pictures side by side so you can compare, you will see there is a color difference between the two cameras. Yes, these CGI images are interpreted differently by different computers, and you can see especially with the sky there, the differences in the color. Now, as far as relative size of the continents in different images, let's take this an example from our model. Pay close attention to South America here, the size of it. All right, now from another camera with a different kind of lens, this is what we get. Now we put those side by side, you can see the massive difference between the two images of the same model. So how did we accomplish that? Very simple. Here you see why the first picture was taken at a good distance from our globe model, and then the second picture was taken much closer with a different kind of lens that obviously gave a different look to South America. So by moving the camera lens closer or farther away, or a satellite closer or farther away with different types of lenses, we get different views of the relative size of continents. Here's somebody that's done a much better job than my demonstration. I have this link below, where he moves the camera closer and then farther away again to demonstrate how the continents can be distorted. Great job on this video, by the way.
We have 0 authentic pictures of the Earth, and they're all composites, and NASA even admits that they Photoshop Earth images.
It is Photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Okay, here we go again. Everything's fake, right? Let's start with a little bit of history of photography from space. Firstly, we have the V2 from 1946 taking the first photo from space. And by photo, we mean a photograph with film. Yes, they actually had to retrieve the canister out of the rocket to be able to print a picture up. So back in the 40s, this was a necessity. Now, it wasn't until about 1959 with Explorer 6 that we figured out a way to actually transmit an image via space, although very crudely at the time. By 1966, we had our first image of the Earth, of the entire Earth, from U.S. Lunar Orbiter 1, 1966. But the Soviets were doing much also in the form of space imagery. Zond 5 and Zond 6, shown here from 1968. Now Apollo 8 from 1968, now this was an actual Hasselblad film photograph taken from the Apollo 8 capsule. Zond 7 in 1969, series of photographs there. Zond 8 in 1970, a bunch of photographs there. Now this is the famous blue marble shot. Now this was actually the photograph that started the whole meme with the blue marble, because this was the full photograph of the Earth, the entire Earth in its complete 100% view. And no, it's not upside down. This is the way the astronauts saw it when they looked out of their capsule and filmed it with an actual photograph again, actual film, in December of 1972. Now, Earth had the appearance and size of a glass marble, hence the nickname, the blue marble. Now, later in 2002, NASA released an extensive set of satellite-captured imagery, including prepared images suitable for direct human viewing. Remember, the color balance has to be adjusted to approximate what an image could be seen with the average human eye. So this is where we start getting more computer-generated composite images, as well as they came up with complete sets of usable images for preparing further works as well. So then we come to another release in 2005 named the Blue Marble Next Generation. It's a series of photomosaics produced with the aid of automated image shifting upon images from NASA's Earth Observatory, which enabled the inclusion of a complete cloud-free globe for each month from January to December, and which has been clearly stated, by the way, in their website. Yes, all these images, it's been very clearly listed since 2005 that this is what NASA does with the images. It's no secret. They're not lying. They're telling you right on their website. It's been up since 2005. Get with the program here. Now, in 2012, NASA released a composite image of the Western Hemisphere of Earth entitled Blue Marble 2012. And this is the one that Robert Simon was speaking about having created as a computer-aided image, computer-aided design. Then, of course, flat earthers love to ignore the fact that we now have in space about a dozen satellites from various countries that you can actually see, and I'll link them below, some of them, so you can see. You can actually look at at what you have in the sky at any particular moment, and then you can go to the satellite imagery and compare it to what you saw in the sky to verify whether or not it was a fake image or not. So until you do that, you have no justification to say that all of this is fake imagery, because you could check it yourself. But no, you'll refuse to do that. We have a lot of satellites up there. Some of them would the GOES West in 2010, the Russia Elektro-L in 2011, the Japanese Himawari 8 in 2014, the India INSAT from 2014, USA GOES East in 2016, GOES 16 in 2016, US Discoverer in 2016, and the European Union Meteosat 10 also in 2018.
When you look in the sky, you see stars, right? But every picture I just showed you of the Earth, did you see a star? Nope, you just see a plain background. 10,000 to 20,000 satellites in space, you took a picture of the Earth. Do you see any of the motherfucking satellites around the so-called real Earth that you got? Because it's not no satellites up there. The pictures of Earth, you can Google it yourself. Ain't no stars and ain't no satellites like they say, because they all Photoshop images. They not real. They fake.
Get the fuck out of here. Suck my balls.
Bull fucking shit. You is fucking retarded.
No stars. Right. Okay. That one's been debunked so many times over the last many decades, and you can prove it to yourself. Take a picture of the moon at night, and then go look at your picture. It's a fake picture, right? There's no stars. The camera iris adjusts to the brightest thing so you can see the moon. Otherwise, it would be completely washed out. Very simple. And all satellites are fake? Boy, that's a good one. Talk to the millions of people whose livelihood depends upon satellite technology for their paycheck. They must all be lying to you, and the paycheck must be fake, right? How do you upload your YouTube videos? Go out and block your satellite dish on your house and see what happens to your signal. The reason you can't see these satellites is they're frankly just too small for you to see. Most satellites are smaller than a car. Could you see a car on the ground, let's say, even 5 miles away? No, you can't. Now, there is one big enough that you can see, and that's the ISS. If you know exactly where to look, you can actually see it. You can either see a glare from the sun, or you can actually see it traverse across, let's say, the moon. And it's funny you should mention Google, because you can go online and see satellite imagery showing your house and the car parked in your driveway. Anybody can do this.
The Earth is surrounded by ice.
And by the way, this globe came with its own ice wall.
Y'all, and some of y'all laughing, some of y'all like, damn, for real? I'm not bullshit. All right, well, I'm leaving.